Hey mamas, good evening to you, or good morning, or whenever it is you're watching. Today we are talking about the 5-5-5 rule. So the video today is called Discover the Power of the 5-5-5 Rule, Essential Tips for New, Freshly Postpartum Moms. The 5-5-5 rule is something that my chiropractor told me about. I got regular chiropractic care through my pregnancy, which, by the way, is something I didn't think I could afford, but look into it because it's actually not bad. But anyway, this is not something I ended up actually being able to implement. This is a best case scenario, ideal situation. If you're not able to do this, then it's okay. But this is the first 15 days after having your baby and the most ideal way of how to live those out, carry those out so that you have you set yourself up for the very best recovery. So it is the first 5 days, the second 5 days, the third 5 days. So the idea of this rule is that it supports mothers into the transition into motherhood, and it's easier on their bodies this way. So the first 5 days are supposed to be in the bed. This is under the covers. You're just worried about feeding baby and feeding yourself. You are delegating other non-essential tasks to partners, family, friends. So this is the time when these are the crucial first 5 days, and you want to be taking it as easy as possible. And for me, freshly postpartum, I was drinking this juice that's like super packed antioxidant, amazing juice that I should say this. Everything I'm going to talk about today is going to be linked in the blog post, which the blog post is in the description of this video. So the juice I'm talking about is in the blog post in the description of this video. So this juice totally helped me refuel my body and just kind of pour nutrients back into myself after being in labor for so many hours and just, recovering from all of that. And you also want to make sure that your tumbler is not far away and always filled with water. So this juice and my water, so important during this time. And the tumbler I also have linked in the blog. The other thing that I'm going to talk about as far as must-haves during these first 5 days is nipple butter. Nipple butter was a godsend at the beginning of the breastfeeding and pumping journey, and it just makes everything much more comfortable. And I started using it from day one and was very heavily reliant on it for my own comfort for a while, for the first maybe even like close to 8 months. And so that's the first segment, the first 5 days in bed. The next 5 days is on the bed. So you don't have to be under the covers anymore, but ideally the bed is still within reach and you're starting to move around a little bit more, but you're not overexerting yourself, you're not pushing yourself. And just so no unnecessary strain. So during this time, be prioritizing and just savoring your skin-to-skin time with baby, uninterrupted breastfeeding, and continue delegating those non-essential tasks. And also during this time, when you start getting up out of bed, your baby wrap, which is linked in the blog, is going to be your best friend and new wardrobe staple because it's so nice to, first of all, baby loves being in the baby wrap, and it's so soft and cozy, and good for baby's hips, and it counts as tummy time, and just so many good things about baby wearing. But you get to kind of start moving around on your own again while still keeping baby close. So I'm just a huge advocate for baby wearing. And when you have to start getting out of bed again, when you get to start getting out of bed again, the baby wrap is going to be really, really helpful. And actually the link for the baby wrap that I have in the blog, in the description of this video, you get 10% off with that link. So keep that in mind. I would also recommend getting 2 because babies tend to spit up. And then I had 2 because I didn't want to be without one. If one got spat up on, I was that heavily reliant on it. If it was going to be dirty in the laundry, that was going to be a problem. So the last segment of this, the last 5 days, is around the bed. So you are slowly increasing your mobility, and still we are not overexerting ourselves. We're taking it easy, and we're starting, during this time, we usually start to get a little bit of that pre-pregnancy energy back, and the juice majorly helps with this as well. And just remember to make sure that you're listening to your body's cues and you sit down when you need to sit down. So that's all for today's video. That is the 5-5-5 rule. 5 days in bed, 5 days on the bed, and 5 days around the bed. So if you liked these tips, I invite you to join my Facebook group. And in the Facebook group, I have a training video. It's just under 30 minutes long. I go through all of my helpful tips and tricks and things I learned about breast pumping. So that is in there right now. And next is going to be cloth diapering. That's on next Saturday, I believe. And then after that, I have a baby wearing training scheduled sometime in April. So if you want to get in there now so you don't miss any of that, I'd love to have you in there. And just make sure that you're being gentle with yourself, you're taking care of yourself, and you are taking it easy because you just did an amazing thing. So give yourself some grace. Okay. I will see you guys